Guys, welcome back to the next part of our mini album. Today we're going to look at 5 months and 6 months. Enjoy! Hey guys, welcome back to the 4th part of our mini album. Today we're going to look at months 5 and 6. I hope you're really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying creating this with you guys. It's been really fun. So let's get into it. So I'm going to go this way. So I want to do like a Z fold or an accordion pull out here. Let's have a look at how wide we think that's going to be. Grab a new sheet. Now, let's get our height. So how's everybody doing? Let me know how you're getting on. Let me know if you have any queries or questions or advice for doing tutorials or anything that you would like to know or see or anything like that that I could help with. I'm hoping you all watched and enjoyed part 2 of our scrap hoarders hop this weekend just gone. That was another really nice one, and I've had a lot of people really nicely come back and said that they found inspiration in my video, which is absolutely lovely thing to say, because yeah, I just loved it. So yeah, that was part 2, which was tags and bookmarks, and then next Saturday we'll have the final one, which will be making a card. Now I'm thinking this is 12" and this is 6 1/4, so if we just score this down the centre, and then so it's 6. So we score that 6. And apparently almost put a hole in it. Don't score that hard, Laura. Jeez. This is where you'll find it's useful to have kept some of the smaller scraps, because if we can find something like this tall, we'll create the hinge as a separate piece. So just need to find something that is long enough. Perfection. Let's see if there's anything that length but slightly thinner, because that is what is this piece? Do you know what? Actually, it's only 2 inches, so I think I might just use it as it is. What's this one? 1 3/4. That might be slightly better. 1 1/2 is even better. Perfect. Now if I was doing this and it was an attached piece, I would only have it at probably 1/2 inch. Bonus if you are going to do it separate like this is you can do a longer hinge for more protection, because obviously this is 12 inches. Going to be off 1 hinge. It's not going to be separate pieces, so it is good to have that. Alternatively, you could cut a 6 1/2 piece and then stick it on top of each other. But I'm just going to use the long piece, because for me, I find that is easier to have. Trim this down. But that is why I keep all my pieces, because they are useful to use as hinges, to use as pop-up bits. They're always come in handy. So this is 1 1/2. So score at 3/4. That's our centre point. this. This doesn't hurt my hand anywhere near as much as the old one did. I love it. You know, for a second then I couldn't remember what I was doing. Do you ever have brain farts like those? I used to get them, not quite as regularly as I do now, but I used to get them before I was ill, and it was so frustrating, whereas now I just find it funny. I mean, if you go to my link tree, you'll see a load of like links, and one of those links is my personal Instagram, which basically I mostly just talk about the lupus and how it's affecting me day to day, and a little bit sticking out, you know, silly things that I do. And I have this, I mean, as I've said in the last video, I do struggle sometimes with words. When there's not, if it's not something serious, then it's really funny. Like, I would tell you the funny one that me and my friend just crack up with every time, but unless you were there, it's not as funny. But yesterday we watch things together on Netflix over Discord, so we can talk to each other, because obviously can't be around each other all the time. And you know, me with shielding and everything else. So yeah, we will often watch something and chat on Discord. We were watching what is it called, Top Chef, which is actually quite good. We like a lot of cooking shows. He is brilliant, loves cooking. I hate it, but I like watching cooking shows. Like, I've always hated reality TV style programs, but I've got into them so much in the last year or so. It's bad. And yeah, so we were watching that, and I was trying to explain something, and I kept using the wrong words. So when I was trying to say he does something, I said he didn't do, or she didn't do. When I was trying to say they didn't do it, I said they did. You know, I was basically getting everything pretty much almost the wrong way around. So any positive, I was using negative words, and then negative, I was using positive words, and I was getting so frustrated with and wound up at myself for it. I was just sitting there, because it frustrates me when I can't get it out. But then I had the best moment where a guy did he cooked something, and he put it in, it was in a bowl on top of the plate, and I said that's very rustic looking. They were trying to do like a fine dining thing, and I said that's very rustic, and I was trying to explain what he could have done, maybe to make it not quite so rustic, in my opinion. Not that, you know, I have any clue what I'm talking about, because I don't, but I like to give my thoughts every so often. So yeah, what I basically said was that he should have done exactly what he did, but he should have put it in a mannequin. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not entirely sure how you're going to eat out of a mannequin. See if you can figure out what word I might be wanting to use rather than mannequin in the description, and anyone who, I won't say anyone who gets it right, the first person who gets it right gets an extra entry into my 200 subscriber giveaway. How's that? That'll do. So whoever guesses the word correctly first gets an extra entry into my 200 subscriber giveaway. And can I just, while we're waiting for this to dry, say thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed. Like, I can't even comprehend that I have, you know, more than 10 subscribers. When I first started this, I said to my other half, said to my best mate, I was like, no one's going to watch me. You know, I'll get maybe the 10, 12 people that I know from watching their channels that we've become really good friends with. You know, so I'm really good friends with a couple of ladies that I've met through YouTube. And they're absolutely wonderful, wonderful ladies. And we do message each other, we check in, you know. It's really lovely to have that sort of feeling and conversation with someone that I've never met. It's such an honour for me. So to then somehow have got not only to 100 but to 200 is just phenomenal. I can't comprehend. I know there's probably people going, oh, it's not a big number, but for me that is incredible. So thank you all very, very much for subscribing. Yeah, it really means a lot. So this is our page. We've got our hinge this side. So now we're going to make sure that our 6 by 8 1/4, 7 1/4, sorry, card opens this way. Because then we're going to stick it here so that it opens like so. So again, I'm just going to pop glue along this bit. So yeah, I hope that you are all doing well. Hope that you have all entered my giveaway. The video went up Sunday, I believe. Very, very simple giveaway. You don't have to do anything. And you actually have an option of your prize. I don't know why I do this to myself, but I do. So, yep. I hope that everyone takes part. I am absolutely honoured. And I do apologise for people who are not in the UK. I am just at this moment in time with everything going on not able to include postage to the US, I'm afraid. I don't have the money at the moment. I know that sounds really horrible. I'm hoping that once I get some larger numbers that I'll either be able to do a giveaway that I can post, or I can do some arrange something with some people in America, because I know that quite a few of my subscribers are in America, according to my analytics, which makes me strange. It's strange to me because, you know, I'm just little me in the UK, but having met some more amazing people on YouTube who have helped and supported me with joining groups and doing those incredible hops, which are so much fun. Can I just say, if you've got a channel and you've never done a hop, it is so much fun, because obviously you have your ideas and then you get to see what other people have done, and I find it really interesting to see where people go with the same things. I'm just going to have an up flap and a magnet close. Yes, that is exactly what I'm going to do. What do we have in our bag of scraps? Okie dokie, so I have measured this. I found this is the right, this is slightly wide, but it's the best choice width wise. What I then did was I measured on the design paper where I would like the image to end. That's when I created this flap. I have scored where that line will be, which, if I can find my pencil, alright, I need to rub that mark out, to form our hinge. So I'm going to trim that off, and then we'll trim down to the size. So I'm going to do this just over 1/2 inch. We'll pop that there. Then we can do our width. Don't need to do our width that way, do we? Because I know what the width is going to be. 5 3/4. 5 3/4. Oh, that's almost exactly that. There we go. Get that slither off. So let's put this on and then I'll explain what I'm thinking. Because I was going to put that image that I really wanted on here. And then I was thinking, but I need other things as well. So like on this piece, because it's front, it'd be nice to have a little pocket in to add some extra bits and pieces in. I don't really want to put a pocket on here because you've got a lot on top of it. And then your fold lines can have an effect. So, and in fact, I've even done that wrong because that isn't what I was going to do. My plan is to give this a little gusset as well. So this is going to be 1/4 of an inch shorter than I intended, but that's fine. Shorter is definitely better than longer. Definitely better than longer. So I scored at 1/2 inch. We're then going to score at 3/4 because we want this 1/4 of an inch gusset so that it has enough room for the Z fold with paper and pocket with things in. So it's okay as long as this doesn't end up being longer. That's not a huge problem. I just don't want to end up using more of that paper, and I'll explain that thought process in a second. So this is going to be our front flap, which is then going to actually have that image on, and this is going to sit over this bit like that to be the front, which is if I put it there, lined up with that, we've also got this edge there and this edge there, which I can design to look the same. So then at the bottom, I was trying to decide, do I just do this and put magnets on this piece, but then if it's under the pocket, that might affect what's in it. I could put the magnets on top of the pocket, but then that's putting a lot of pressure on the gussets, on the flaps that are holding it, because it'll be pulled up every single time, and they're only going to be, you know, attached in a short rather than a long piece. So then I'm thinking that we do a little piece, not this necessarily this thin, but just a little piece that comes up there to magnetize. And then I thought, but that's going to interfere with the image because that's going to be exactly where the shoes are. So now I'm thinking that this might go underneath. So I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm just going to have it underneath so that this will lift up. And that's got our magnet piece on. So that's where I'm at right now. So this has a 1/4 of an inch gusset and it's going to sit on the top. Yep, this is the top. So we'll add this one on. Fun. That's a good reminder. Let's do our corner chomper on this piece. Stub, yes. So this album is for one of my other half's cousins. I'm just going to push the gusset flat so that I can stick this on as if it was a normal flap. It just makes it a bit easier to line everything up. So my other half has a large Irish family, and when I say a large Irish family, to give you some context, his first cousins on his mum's side, only on his mum's side, okay, first cousins on his mum's side, he has 25. 25 first cousins just on his mum's side of the family. Ignore, you know, his dad's side, ignore second cousin, third cousins, all of that malarkey. Purely his first cousins on his mum's side, he has 25. And I'm knocking everything over today. 25. That to me is just an insane number of cousins, but it's the truth. And yeah, love them all dearly. They are all very, very lovely. The whole family is lovely. I'm very, very lucky to, when I eventually get married, be marrying into a nice family. You know, I am marrying him, not the family, honest. Well, maybe. That's been a standard joke for a while. We dated a while back, like when I was 21. I met him when I was 20. We started dating when I was 22, so I think that was it. We were together for a while and then we broke up. And it sounds really horrible, but if you know me and you know my family history, you'll understand. But actually, you know, I used to say when we broke up, I got over the relationship. It took a while. I got over the relationship. I missed him because before we started dating, for 2 years, he was my best friend. We were inseparable. So I missed him and the presence of him. But once I got past all of that, the lingering feeling of loss I had was for his family. Because, you know, my family is... I don't want to say my family is difficult. That sounds really rude and it's not what I mean. But my family is not as close for a variety of reasons. And yes, so I did really miss his family because they're all so lovely. So yeah, it was a bit of a running joke for a while that when we got back together, I was getting back together with the family and he was just the only available one because his sister's already married and the others don't live this close to me. It's just, yeah, just a joke that we put through. So yeah, his family are absolutely lovely. And a lot of his first cousins similar age to us. I'm not gonna... There is a competition pretty much every time they all get together to try and put all of his first cousins in that bracket in age order. And not everyone can do it. I definitely can't. I get confused in the middle. I know the oldest ones and the youngest ones, but I get confused in the middle. And I feel really bad about it until we're spending time with, say, one of his aunts or uncles or what have you, and they get confused as well. That makes me feel a little bit better. Right. Nice. So that sits nicely there. So we've got a strip here and a strip here. Let's use that one. For those who are interested, I should stop putting this away. It is 1.5 inches in length. So the first thing we are going to do is create a fold line. Let's do this at... Let's do 1/2 inch as I would normally. Yes. So there's the 1/2 inch flap, and we know we want one at 3/4 because that's going to be the gusset. So let's give those a fold. And as much as I love the big one, it is the only annoyance with it that I find is for doing little pieces like this. It is a little harder, but you know what? If I only have to use this occasionally and the rest of the time I can use the big one, then I am more than happy. So this is going to stick onto the bottom. Not that far on the bottom. There we go. In fact, before I do that, I'm going to cut the design paper for this because I want to see which way round I'm going to do it. So, if I pop that out like so. Check that my line still works, because my line still works. No, see, my line is far too high now. My line will be here now. And then width-wise, let's pop this on there. Let's trim this one out. Right, let's just cut it straight on that line. Cut it all the way up on this line. you serious? Cute. Right. Teddy's paw, but that's not a problem. Oh, it's not Teddy's paw, it's the back end of a dog. And then we've got this nice piece, which would look gorgeous on a photo mat or something, which is why I kind of wanted to do it like this, because that image in itself is lovely. Let's have a check. So does this fit where we want it to fit? Sorry. So we don't want it on the fold line, we want it there. That fits everything nicely. We're a wee bit too long. Yes. Just a smidgen too long. Much better. Love it. We need to do our stub. And the thing that I really like about this page specifically is, yes, the shoes are blue, but this page is slightly more gender neutral. I am desperately after some gender neutral baby paper, if anybody knows of any. Or, yeah, I would love some that isn't all pink or all blue. I've got one that's a yellow and grey, which I guess is kind of gender neutral. And then I've got one that's called Hey Baby, which has got purples and oranges and stuff in. But I would say that one definitely leans more towards traditional feminine colours. I disagree because I hate pink, but you know, traditionally that's so. I'm just going to put this on here with a little bit of a removable tape. Make sure I get the right one. Yes, my temporary adhesive, not my permanent. So we're just going to do that because I would like to figure out a way to craft without knocking my corner chomper over every 2 seconds. That's one thing I want to work out. The other thing I want to work out is where we're going to place our closure for this. So that is about right there, I think. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. So this is going to go here. And then we've got this piece. So, yeah. If we have it coming over the top, it does ruin that image. And I quite like that image. I think that would be a good thing to see. So I'm thinking that we want it underneath, don't we? Yeah. I makes it very clear, yes. Okie dokies. So then in which case, if that is going there, how high do we want this? How high am I going to do my pocket first? Because we don't want it to interfere with the pocket. I guess we're going to use the thinner piece that I've got that's long. The only downside is that I'm getting things again. How do I lose things that I had literally like 30 seconds ago? Is that too deep? No, I think that's a nice, yeah, that's a nice one. That's nice. So let's do our score. Oh, I've got my cutting tool out just yet. Getting in my way. Oh, sorry guys, I'm making lots of noise today. There we go, so that is onto here. Here. And make sure this time that I don't cut it off like I did last time. This score line, woman, not the cut line. Where is my pencil mark? That way easier. Probably. Though I still can't see the pencil mark. There it is. Look at that, that works. Cut that off. Let's do some punch. Punch. Is that a bit tall? No. Go with it. It's fine. Go with it. Stick this one on. So yeah, it is quite thick card, and yeah. Oops, don't want it there. Okay. Move that piece as well, because we don't want our bits to stick. I'm going to open this up so that I can line this up correctly. So just a tiny bit away from the fold line, coming all the way to this edge here. Stay away from that edge, line up with this edge, and then make sure we're on the bottom. Oh dear. There we go. Getting difficult to unravel this one. I do love it when a page comes together so nicely. So what I've been doing is I'm following the plan that I said I'd written out, but then if I'm finding something else arises, like this pocket that would fit nicely, then I am just adding that in because I want to. And having made this album style before, obviously I know how much gusset room I've got, and so in some senses I'm able to excuse me, plan things a little bit better in that way. So if this is going to go here, we don't want it to reach the top of the pocket, because we do not want it to interfere with anything that's in it or anything else. So I'm thinking we come down. Does this go? Oh, that's absolutely fine. That goes to here. Which, yeah, as long as we're way above that. So if we say there, maybe. Let's pop this on so that it is flush. Find our line and go here. Oh, gosh, pin. I need to create a thing to there we go. Ka-ching. Chomp it. Chomp it. Let me think. So I've got it there, I've got it there. Yes, I can just do halfway. Grab those off. How are we looking? That's annoying me. There we go. Right. Let's need some more glue, I think. I think we need a little bit more glue. More glue. Sorry. It's my glue song, man. Let me stick this bit on first, and then I'll add some more glue and a clamp there. How thick is this? I can't remember already. 1.5. 3/4. Easy. Easy. Six and a quarter, 3 and an 8. I love having a T-ruler because with one mark I can do that, which means I can line this up perfectly. Again, I'm going to fold the gusset flat so that I'm only putting glue on the 1/2 inch tab, like so. And then I'm just going to line up the line on this and the line on that, which is really hard to see. I was about to put some dark paper, some craft card behind it, which would be really unhelpful. There we go. And then what I probably should do is take the design paper off of this front so it doesn't get dirty. So let's glue that there. Let's remove this because it's just temporary adhesive. And then, as I pointed out in the last video, I can use my glue eraser just to pick that up. I could use my finger and roll it off, but obviously then my fingers would be sticky, which I don't want. So we'll take that straight off of there because that'll come off on the chunk, which is good. And then just run it over to make sure we've lost all the stick. Do love that. Do love that because I do tend to get glue everywhere. I am not the neatest of people at all times, unfortunately. Partly because I get so engrossed in what I'm doing that I'm not thinking. Especially if I'm not recording, I'll have either YouTube watching some crafty people, or I'll have like a musical on that I can sing along to, or you know, a soundtrack from Spotify and everything else. So it's like I just get in the zone of singing and creating, or watching and creating, and I do sometimes make a bit of a mess of things. But there we go. Right. So then that's going to open. I'm not fussed about that. We want a nice piece for the pocket. And we'll line this up with this side. Sorry, I really hope you don't mind me twisting and turning my papers to try and do this, because I just find certain times it's easier one way and certain times it's easier the other way. Depends on how my shoulders and my hands are on that particular day. I'm so sorry if it's a bit of a whirlwind for you watching me just like frantically turn papers around and forwards and backwards and everything else, because yeah. Sorry. I'm hoping it's at least vaguely entertaining as opposed to, you know, just irritating. I'm trying my best to do this as sort of clearly as possible so you can really see what I'm doing. I'm hoping that I'm achieving that, but I don't know for definite that I am. So we'll see. So let's cut off this piece. Like that can go in my scrap box because that is small enough to go in my scrap box. There we go. That one I'm just going to get rid of. That is too small. Look at me. Never thought you'd hear me say that. I never thought I'd hear me say that. Let's check that that fits on nicely, which, if I could get it into the right position. Yes. Okie dokie, so I'm going to stick that on. I'm trying something slightly different in this video. I'm going to fast forward through me sticking on design paper to try and make sure that this fits into a better sized video, because I don't want this to go on and on. So I am going to speed through some pieces, like me measuring and cutting the same size of design paper for the back page of this, just so that this doesn't become overly long. This video is long enough as it is, but I don't want to just do one page per video, because then it's going to take a long time to get this album finished, because we've got 12 pages plus the covers. So yeah, please let me know how you feel this video goes in terms of that. Are you okay with this bit being sped up? Would you prefer it to be slower and a longer video? Would you prefer one page per video? Let me know how you guys are finding this. So what I've done is I've done the matching size piece on the bottom, and then at the top I'm going to use some printer paper, measure it down and divide it in two, like I did on the previous page, so we can have two little squares up at the top of the design paper as well. So I've measured this, and we're going to see how well this fits into the slot, and then we're going to choose our design paper to go into those spaces. Now I did catch this edge with my trimmer, because my trimmer doesn't like printer paper, but that's not a problem because this is only sort of a size guide really. And then let me get this glue off my fingers. Is it just me, or do you love like rubbing or rolling or pulling glue off your fingers? I'm instantly transported back to being like 5 or 6 years old and having PVA glue at school. I don't know why I'm saying 5 or 6 years old. When we get PVA glue out at school, I still want to do it now. I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to be, you know, a sensible grown up. But what happens when the children leave the classroom is... Shh. Okay, so I've got my folded piece of printer paper. I'm just making sure it's the right size, and then I'm going to cut off the fold. So where it folds in half, I'm just going to ever so slightly trim that off. I'm being extra hesitant this time because last time I cut off way too much. However, this time I didn't cut off quite enough, so I have to trim a little bit more, but it's all down to trial and error. You will find what works best for you. Once I've got the pieces to the right size, I decided I'm going to do one of them in the light blue, which matches the letters on the bottom piece of design paper. So we're going to have one piece that is just the plain blue, and then we're going to use design paper for the other piece. So using my template, I've just measured the size. We're going to cut that down, and then we're going to cut our design paper. So I wanted something else that would match with the yellows, and I looked through the 6x6 because it's a smaller slot. I can use the 6x6 paper, and I decided in the end to use the flower sheet from the front, which is a lovely yellow with the light blue flowers, and that worked perfectly with both the pale blue and the sheet beneath it. So measuring that up, I'm going to trim that down and stick that on, and I thought that I would do one of these as a tuck spot. Now this design paper is a lot thicker than the blue paper. This I think the blue paper is something like 120 GSM and the design paper is 250. So I'm going to stick the blue piece down completely, and then we're going to use the patterned piece with the flowers on as a tuck spot. So I'm not going to put glue on the inside bit where my thumb is. I'm going to do it round the other 3 sides, just like a pocket, so that that is then open enough to become a tuck spot. I'm also just going to leave a little bit of paper in there to remind me that it's a tuck spot and that I need to make something for it, because otherwise I'll forget when we come back at the end. And then looking at these pieces, I also want to add in the bit at the bottom before I move on. So I found this nice light blue check which works beautifully. It's actually the back of the yellow checked sheet. So we're going to cut that down and stick that onto the little closure piece at the bottom. This one was a bit fiddly at first. I couldn't see my pencil line, so I went back and forth a few times. I can't put my teeth in today. Then we're just going to remove the backing from the tape over the magnet, stick our glue on the tape and on the piece, and then add that. At this point, I'm not going to cover the back of this because that can wait until a bit later on. At the moment, we're just looking at covering the main sheets, and then towards the end, I'll go back and fill in any gaps that we've got. So there's that little piece on, which has got the magnet, which is going to tuck underneath there, which is beautiful. Then I liked that flower paper. I want to use it on the bigger pieces, so I'm going to get it out of the 12 by 12. So it is the same design, measure it down to fit on this flap and on one of the other flaps, just so that we keep this design going throughout this page. I think it adds some really nice continuity. Because we do want some simpler pages. And this is inside a Z fold, so sorry, that noise was making me laugh. Sorry. Oh dear, honestly, I am a grown up. I know I don't act like it sometimes, but honestly, I am a grown up. Honestly, I am a grown up, she says. There we go. Glue dries too quickly. Try this again. That's better. That's better. There we go. Oh dear. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I'm going to leave this piece. And then I decided I was going to do the same design on the other side of that flap. So again, just measuring it down, and I'm going to stick it on to there. I really like that this pattern is repeating and that we've got two different sizes. I think it shows that the pages are related, but it adds some interest, so it's not looking at exactly the same image over and over again, which I think works brilliantly. So yes, I really like that. So please let me know how you feel about these bits being fast forwarded, because it's all down to you. We're going to go into 6 months. We definitely want something coming this way. Yeah. So first thing we want is a flap from the side. So do we have anything that is going to fit? Not if we want a full length. Do we want a full length? No, I think that would work. Although we're going to need a flap, aren't we? So that's going to be shorter. No, I think that will work for the second part. But we will need a full flap for the side flap. So let's cut the right height. Let's do our height first. So there we go. There we go. Let's do in 1/2 inch flap. So this is going there. We don't want to be right on the edge because of the hinges and and everything else. So let's put that on and check. Nice. Then on top of this piece, okay. Do you ever have too many ideas in your head? I do. Ever so slightly. Yes, that's fine. That is fine. Oh, I keep putting this away. Okay, so this is going to sit on top of our flap. It's going to be in the middle, so we'll sort that measurement out in a minute. We're going to come to here. So there's that. Now, do I want... No, I'm not going to punch this piece. But we are a bit short there. Try this again. There we go. Okay. And this piece is going to go on top of this piece. A sideways flap, a down flap, sideways flap. Okay, changed plans ever so slightly while I was trimming off the fluff. So I've just made each one a little bit smaller than the one before so that we can see them. Then I'm going to pop the edge of this one. Okay, so that's going on that one. So when that opens, I kind of want these corners chomped, but I don't know if that's going to look odd with this so close, if that makes sense, because I was going to put this in the centre there. Maybe I need to trim this a bit smaller then. Let's trim this a bit more. Where should we go to? How much should we take off? 1/2 inch. If I do just over 1/2 inch so that it's not, if it cuts it off at a similar point to that. There we go. Trim this bit down. Now I'm just using offcuts that I had. I can give you the measurements if you would like. So first flap, which is a flap to the left, is 7 5/8 by 6 1/4 and done. Then on top of that I'm going to have a one that lifts up, which is 5 3/4 by 7 1/4, and then we've got this one which with the pan is 4 1/2 by 6 3/8. So now, if I put this into the centre, then I can do these bottom corners. Yes, that will work. Do our corners. And that's going to be up here. Kind of want to do those, but I'm not going to. No. Let's start sticking things on. So what I do with my albums is I make a basic plan. So the plan for this one was left flap, flap going to the left. And then I will add on other bits and pieces as I'm going. Sometimes I'll leave it as it says in my plan. Sometimes I'll add bits on, sometimes I'll totally change the plan. It all kind of depends really what sort of mood I'm in when I get to that page. So right, let's try and centre this. And that's nicely in the centre of that. Let's open that up so that I can rub that in. Okay, so there's that. That's good. Then let's get this out. And this is going to go about there. Oh, in fact I might do 2. Put the things on. We'll see. We'll see. Let me put this on and see how I feel. See how it looks, because it might be too much with all of that on. It was just slightly above halfway, which is good because of the attached, the chomped corner, should I say, not the attached corner, the chomped corner. There we go. Okay. We will have a flap. A flap. I'm going to do 2 here. Or am I? Just trying to think of how I'm going to keep these things closed. This one definitely going to need magnets. This top flap going down. It's going to need magnets. Let's use our new big ones. Excellent. Okay, then this. I could do a second one. And let's just magnet these. This page is going to be magnet. Let's just go with it. Lovely. So then for our page we've got a flap, and a flap. So we'll stick this one on. I don't think this needs magnets because it's going to be that way in the book and it's going to be quite heavy. I don't think this actually needs magnets to stay on. Okay. Let's get this on. Way to keep that down. So we've got, just thinking of our colours, so that's sort of a white and bluish. Then we've got the greeny-ish and the blue, because we've got the greens there. And we've got double yellow. So what are we putting on this page? Let's have a look. I think it would be good to use the birds either side. Let's do another white page. We'll start with the birds because a lot of them are white. Let's do birds on the right, very front, perhaps. Yes. So we have got our birds. That's a white, isn't it? We could use that. Those are very yellow. So sorry about the noise of my chair. So not the birds, or not the birds, the flowers, or that. Not that one. Not the yellow. Not the tags. Right. So we've got this multi-sheet one. We've got the teddy bears. We've got green, 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 blue, blue, blue. Okay. So we could use that, possibly. But we've got this one and this one. So let's take out one each of those. So I think we'll do Rockabye Baby on this piece. Nice, that is a nice white shiny page. What we're going to put on this piece then? Yeah, yes, this, definitely this one. Okies. Got most of this page done. We've got our flap to the side. We've got a flap that lifts up. Then we've got the main flap to the side. I think I'm just going to have to leave these plain. I'm going to cover this piece with the birds again, I think. Do we have a big enough piece of the birds the right way up to, yes we do. Okay, so again I'm going to bring this design back to add just a little bit of continuity. So yeah, we are nearly at the end of this video now, so please can you have a think and let me know down in the comments how you feel about this video. You know, does it work with these bits being sped up? You know, I'm sure you've all stuck design paper on things, you don't need to watch that specifically.
Are you more interested in how I build the album, or are you interested in the design process of how I pick my design paper? Let me know, because I really want to know how you guys are finding this. Thanks.
We've got a nice white page. So we've got our flap, our flap, our flap. And I'm going to leave that there for now, because we are going to do the other bits a bit later on. So yeah, thank you very much for spending time with me today, guys. Keep crafting and I'll see you soon. Bye.